Hello, my crafty friends. Well, this is the bat that I made on the video, and I told you there were several different ways you could spin it and asked if y'all wanted me to show you several different ways to spin it, and the answer was yes. So, this is what it looks like underneath. So that's pretty, isn't it? And then this is what it looks like on top. And I think in order to um, I'm going to have to divide it like into 3 pieces if I'm going to show you how to do that. And that won't be that easy to divide it across here. It's really easy to divide it this direction. It's not as easy to divide it this direction. But we're going to start right here. And maybe. Okay. It's a little scary, so you got to just go for it. I don't know why it's not wanting to. Came apart real easy over there, but not over here. And that may mean there's more fiber, or the different color fibers are different lengths. Okay. Whew. All right, here is some of it. We're going to set that aside. And we've got this. Okay. Now, I'm going to take this bit and I'm going to roll it like this. And that's quite a bit of fiber to spin that way. So I'm probably going to just start. One thing you want to do is kind of pre-draft it a little bit. Maybe you want to pre-draft it a little bit. Let's see if I can get the... I forget there's silk in there, and the silk is really strong, and if you're grabbing both ends of it, it doesn't want to... This right here is not wanting to... Okay, see, I didn't get hardly any of this up in there. So trying to pre-draft, it's not working out so great. Okay. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this off. And since we were working at pre-drafting, we're just going to let this be our pre-draft sample. And then we'll just do the rolled up as it is sample. And then we'll go on to the other ways you can do it. So let's move that. We'll start with this. And I got to see which direction my... I've got to get some spin up there so that it won't all come out of my yarn. Okay. Now this, I don't know how this is going to turn out. Probably rather thick like that other yarn was, but I'm just going to spin it the way it wants to spin. Oops. Okay. I can already tell that it's overspinning. So I'm going to turn my speed down a little bit and loosen the tension a little bit. And I'm just going to pull out and let some of that spin. Okay, sorry, it's going to take me a minute here. I'm going to have to pull quite a ways. Okay. Okay, now then, we've still got some overspun stuff in there. When you're spinning with this, your fibers don't always slide evenly. And so sometimes when you're having trouble with some of it sliding, you end up with some overspun parts. But anyway, we're going to not worry about that. We're just going to keep going. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of spin this as it tells me it wants to be spun. Okay, that didn't work out. We're going to have to tighten the tension back up. It's not pulling it on. It's just spinning and spinning forever. Okay. And sometimes you have to untwist it right here in order to get it to move good, and then let the twist go back in. This green is a different fiber. Remember, this was made out of just little bits of mill ends, so the fibers are not all the same. And but we knew we were not going to be making a perfectly smooth yarn when we started this whole project, so it's all right. Okay, let's scoot the... Yeah, that green, that's our problem fiber right there. That kind of olive green. Got a big mess right here. We're just going to let it make a big bump and another big bump. It's got a lot of that silk in it. Okay. Let's hold that spin in. And I don't know how this is going to work because, like I said, some of it is not moving very well. And so if we're having a lot of trouble with it, we may not spin. Well, I'm probably not going to spin this whole bundle on the camera anyway, because that's a lot of just spinning one way, and I'm wanting to show you different ways, not spend an hour spinning just this. Okay, I'm going to hold it way back here and just spin it from right here. See, it's pulling the inside out. That's what it's doing. It's spinning from the inside. And it'll catch a little bit of this from the outside, some. We're just kind of pulling it so that it catches some of these fibers across here as we go. That seems to be working out pretty well. This is actually spinning better than the one that I tried to pre-draft. That didn't work out so well. Okay. One thing about bats like this is that you know you're not trying to make a some specific, at least I'm not trying to make some specific perfect yarn, and so I just can relax and spin it and enjoy all the things that happen, all the little things like this. Right in the middle of all that green, we've got a pop of color, And then there's a big deal of green because that got caught. Okay, let's see if we can pull in some other colors now. Well, here's some blue. Let's pull in some purple. Well, maybe not yet. It's wanting to do green still, so we're going to let it do that. This is a lot thicker yarn even than what I spun that black one. But it's what it's wanting to spin, so I'm just letting it do what it wants to do. Okay. You can see on here that it's making a fun yarn, even though it's not going from color to color even in any sort of even way. So we're just kind of moving around it. Ooh, that got kind of thin compared to the rest. Now that really, really thin spot there, that's kind of like I normally spin. Okay, let's move this over here a little bit. It was sliding down, and that's something it would be preferable not to do that. It's not bad, it's just not preferable. Okay, let's... Okay, you can see what this is looking like. And I'm going to take it off right here. Let's... Okay. So I'm going to leave this for later on because I wanted to show you some other ways to spin it, and that's still a bunch of fiber to spin. So we've got this, and one way you can spin it is to split it into strips. So you could just take now I'm not taking all of the orange, and I'm doing that on purpose, but you could take all of one color if you wanted to. Okay, so I'm just going to take a strip of it like that. That'll get out of the way. And then we're going to spin it from this strip. And you can just go through and, you know, take one color or two colors or whatever, and spin it like that, and then go on to the next one and get another color and spin it. When you get all like a big piece of that silk stuff come up all by itself, you have to be careful or when you're spinning, because it's all really short fibers. So okay, let's go here. Okay, it's still looking fun, isn't it? Okay. Okay. So that's spinning it from a strip, and I did overspin that a little bit. I'm going to let it relax some. Okay. And then you could go on and just take another strip and do that. And then you get mostly one color at a time when you do that. Okay, another thing that you can do is take your batt and strip it like this. Only when you get to this end, then you come over here and you go back this way. And then you can, you know, not go all the way to the end and come back this way. And you can do your whole batt. You can do your whole batt like that, and you're basically making yourself a roving. So, so let's spin some like that. Gotta get it where it'll come up, but not be in my way. Okay, this was one of the colors that was really hard to draft last time, so once again I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do. And I'm going to just do this whole thing on this one bobbin, and then I'm going to let it rest for a few days and make a center pull ball and do my do a 2-ply from that, and we'll see what that looks like. We're just going to keep going here. Ooh, stop a minute. Let's talk about that. Okay, this is like a fuzzy mess. So it didn't spin, it just, I'm not even sure what to call that. That rarely happens. So, but when it does, you want to take it off because it's not doing your any, it's not good. It'll just felt into maybe the piece of yarn beside it or something when you're washing it. And of course, when you ply it, it might be fine. But I didn't want it that way, so I took some of it off. Ooh. Yeah, this green, this is not very cooperative wool. I'm glad I didn't buy a bunch of it. Just got some mill-ins. Okay. I'm going to have to work out here a little bit because it was overspinning. Okay. Let's go on this way a little bit more. Okay. Now you can force this to be a smaller yarn, but it would be frustrating. And spinning is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be frustrating. At least that's how I feel about it. So I'm going to, I'm not going to, that's why I don't force it to do something it doesn't want to do, because then it's work instead of fun. Ooh, there's a big hunk of silk. This gold was just pure silk. The sari silk stuff is like little bits, but this was a silk top that I just added in. And all right, let's go on a little bit more. We're getting through the green and about to go to the blue. One thing, when you after you spin it, all the colors look a little darker because they're more concentrated. The color's more concentrated into yarn instead of fluff. I don't know if you noticed that, but anyway, we're about to get to this blue. We will spin that, and then we'll go on to a different way to spin it. Those two greens, green's my favorite color usually, but both of the greens in this batt are not fun to spin, so whoops. Okay. It would make, I think this would make a fun hat. You could spin this kind of like a long draw if you wanted to. So we rolled some of it and then tried to pre-draft it, and then we just rolled it and spun it, and now we tore it in a Z. I mean, I don't know what they call that, but we turned it in. We basically turned it into roving by stripping it in the W or whatever you want to call it formation. And the next thing we're going to do is something I've never tried, and that's try to spin it. Well, no, I'm going to try one more thing first because, well, actually, the first thing I did would be kind of like that, where you just pull off a bunch of it and do some pre-drafting and spin it. So we'll just call that one that. So what's left is this. So we can just pretend like this was a batt on its own. Okay. So some people will take this batt and they will start spinning from here, and they'll have to hold the whole batt. I'm going to actually take some of this off because it's so much further out than the rest of it. We'll just put it up here and tuck it inside that. Okay. So you can just grab it in one corner and then try to spin it like this. And like I said, I have never tried this before, so I don't know if it's going to be good or bad. So we're just going to try it and see. I think it's probably easier when you can hold it in your lap, but anyway. Okay, this is not, it's overspinning and it's not taking on really good, so we're gonna okay. I may have to add a little more tension. Okay. Now we're going to keep going here. Okay, it's not wanting to go at an angle. Let's see. Ah! Stop. Okay. I overspun it here again. When you try to do things you're not used to doing, that kind of thing happens. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can get it to... Oh my goodness. Okay. You want some really big yarn? Try this across the thing. I need to slow it down a little bit maybe. Sorry, this is taking a bit to try to fix it. Okay, let's see if we can... I know you can't see what I'm doing, and I'm sorry, but... Okay. Let's... Okay. Is it getting caught up? No. Okay. Trying to take it. Okay. See? This is... Let's get some of that off there. Okay. Well, we're working on it, but it's not doing so great. So I'm going to just tuck it in right here and see if we can add on to it. Now, I know this machine will take pretty thick yarn, so I'm not worried about it being too thick as far as that goes. I'm more worried about trying to get this um, to move like I want it to here. And this may be unusable yarn after this, but okay. Well, you know what? Just because you can do it that way doesn't mean you should. Oh, goodness. Let's see if we can um, stretch some of this out. All right, I'm going to pause this thing right here. So we tried that. That's not something I probably will ever try again because it didn't work so great. And the other way that I told you about was just to grab some of it. Like you could just take this. So it's just grabbing a handful of it. And this is way more manageable. Strips. I have done that where you make the V's and W's. I've done a lot of batts that way. But I've never done one trying to do one from across the, in a diagonally. And I got some really big fat half spun, little tiny overspun. Who knows what that's going to turn out to be. But anyway, I will show you when I get it done. When you're holding a more manageable bit of fiber, spinning's just a lot easier. So my recommendation is, unless you're just wanting to try out all these things for kicks and you already spin quite a bit, I would either take it in chunks or strips, something like that, instead of using one of those other methods, because they're, especially the across the diagonal method, and some batts might spin that way easier than others, but this one did not. That's a lot of silky stuff. That's probably going to break when I try to apply it, because it got so skinny right there. I have to admit, I only made this bat like this because I had never done it quite like this before. But it's not the way I usually make bats. And if you want to protect the color changes, then you kind of have to strip it and spin each color individually. Since it was an experimentation bat for me, I'm not terribly worried about it. But you can see how this is a lot messier up here. Yeah, it just is. And that's one reason why you choose one way to spin something and not try to spin one bat 6 different ways. Because it won't make any, even the inconsistency will not be consistently inconsistent, if that makes sense. Because everything you do to it changes the way it spins up. I'm definitely not an expert spinner. I do have, some experience, but my experience is limited to spinning the way I normally spin. I haven't done as much experimentation as I would like to as far as ways of spinning. I've spun lots of different fibers and experimented that way, but I haven't done a lot of what I'm doing today. And it's not something, not something I want to probably do much of. Okay, see that? There we go. That came unspun. Pull it back out to where it's actually been spun before we start again, because that let's go ahead and just spin for a minute. Okay. Oh, what did I do with my clippy? There it is. Don't know why I put it all the way back there, but anyway. Anyway, here's what this yarn looks like at the moment. I still have this much of this bat left. And then I've got this part that's, rolled up. Isn't that pretty? And I think what I'm going to do is spin some more of this and then finish spinning this by stripping it. And maybe that way we will get, some variation in our yarn all the way through it, rather than it all being weird just in that one spot. Okay, I'm going to, I'm not going to try to finish spinning it on here. This has already been long enough. But experimentation is fun. Doesn't always work out the way you plan. And the one I thought I would really like, I really thought maybe I would like spinning it, diagonally. No, I don't. So now I know that. So I learned something today. I also learned that when you have no idea what kind of fibers are in something, like those bags of millions, you don't know how they're going to spin, and if you mix a bunch of them together, they're not all going to spin the same, which makes this kind of difficult. It also makes it interesting, so there's that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. If you stayed this long, I'm really proud of you, because this was a long video. Love you all. Bye-bye.